Give these on-screen romantic love interests an award, because they surely deserve one for their skills. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie couples who hated each other in real life. For this list, we're looking at couples who were cute, or at least believable together on the big screen, but who actually despised each other when the cameras stopped rolling. Number 20, Humphrey Bogart and Audrey Hepburn, Sabrina.
Let's drink to that.
The filming of Sabrina was rife with personal drama and stirring romanticism. Audrey Hepburn and William Holden had a short but well-known affair during filming, although Audrey quickly called it off after learning that William had had a vasectomy and could not have children. Meanwhile, Humphrey Bogart wanted his wife Lauren Bacall to play the titular Sabrina, and was therefore quite hostile towards Hepburn, as she'd stolen his wife's spotlight.
Can I find myself someone really nice? That's not so easy, Sabrina.
He also complained about what he believed to be her general inexperience and criticized her acting ability, saying she often had to do too many takes. The joke's on him. Audrey ended up being nominated for an Oscar, while he was left cranky and perturbed.
It's all in the family.
Number 19, Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, 50 Shades of Grey.
Why do you need to?
Because it's the way I am!
Let's get this out of the way first. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson do not hate each other, and they get along well enough now. But there was a time when things seemed a little awkward between the two of them.
I think we were kind of forced into being best friends.
I couldn't have said it nicer myself.
Fans continuously pointed out their palpable lack of chemistry on press tours, and many websites singled out their uncomfortable presence at the 2017 Oscars. Director James Foley also claims that they didn't fully bond until the first movie's press tour, so things were clearly a little off while filming 50 Shades of Grey. We can't say that we blame them for the reported awkwardness though. Filming that kind of movie must be very difficult. Number 18, Harrison Ford and Sean Young, Blade Runner.
Must be expensive.
Very. I'm Rachel.
Deckard.
Rachel was one of Sean Young's first movie roles, and what an introduction it was. Not only was she in one of the best science fiction films ever, although it wasn't considered that at the time, she got to work with none other than the brilliant and charismatic Harrison Ford. Only she didn't really like him.
You think I'm a replicant, don't you?
Rumors have long persisted that the two did not get along while filming Blade Runner. In the scene where Deckard stops Rachel from leaving his apartment, Ford reportedly pushed Young quite roughly, causing her to get upset and irritated with him. Their love scene was also allegedly dubbed the hate scene by the production crew because the two despised filming such a passionate sequence with each other.
I want you. I want you.
Number 17, Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale, Vacancy.
Hey, at least you're dreaming about me, right? That's kind of an improvement.
Back in 2007, Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale starred in a thriller called Vacancy. It followed a combative couple who were teetering on the edge of divorce as they're stalked and harassed at a creepy motel. Kate and Luke didn't need to do too much acting to portray an antagonistic couple, because on-set sources claimed that they did not get along.
I guess it could be worse, you know. We could be stuck in that twin bed at your folks' house trying to pretend like we're a happy couple.
The sources allege that Luke frequently did not show up to work on time and/or was hungover. In fact, he was supposedly outwardly rude and awful to Kate. Things apparently got so bad between them that Kate refused to act with him, instead sending out a picture with a note that said, "Read your lines to this. It will be better for both of us."
Why didn't you just stay on the interstate?
I don't know.
Number 16, Richard Beymer and Natalie Wood, West Side Story.
Maria? Shh. Maria!
Quiet.
West Side Story is a beautiful love tale, a kind of Romeo and Juliet for a new generation. Except that it turns out that the actress who plays the Juliet-like role, Natalie Wood, really didn't like the actor who played the Romeo-like role, Richard Beymer. Rumor has it that Natalie kept a shit list on her dressing room wall with the names of people she despised. And guess who was on the very top of that list? If you guessed Richard Beymer, then you get 10 points.
Maria, I've just met a girl named Maria.
Russ Tamblyn even asked Natalie why Richard was on the list, and she simply said, "I just don't like him." Word has it that Richard didn't even know about this list until Russ told him about it while they were filming Twin Peaks almost 30 years later.
It's all right, she likes us.
Number 15, Jay Mohr and Jennifer Aniston, Picture Perfect.
Sorry, I didn't know we were on the clock
Okay,
yet.
just grab my ass, kiss my neck, and pull me into the office, okay?
Jay Mohr is not shy about airing his dirty laundry. During an interview with Elle magazine, Jay called working with Jennifer his most awkward interaction with a female celebrity. While he didn't 100% confirm it was her, all signs point to Aniston being the female celeb in question.
I suddenly realized I haven't told you how beautiful you look tonight.
She apparently made it abundantly clear that she was not happy with his casting, as many more notable and famous actors had been screen tested for the role. Her behavior was allegedly so antagonistic that Jay would go to his mother's house and cry. In another interview with ESPN, he said that a bag of Doritos would last longer than a movie starring a Friends cast member. Few remember Picture Perfect, so maybe he has a point.
So how do you think it's going?
Fine, I guess.
Number 14, Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger, 9.5 Weeks.
It's beautiful. I love it.
9.5 Weeks is a controversial movie, as it involves touchy themes like sexual domination and sadomasochism. The filming was allegedly just as controversial, as Basinger was reportedly treated like absolute garbage on set. According to a piece in the New York Times, director Adrian Lyne would often manipulate Basinger's emotions and push her too far, so the crew began to grow concerned.
Because you see, I can't get excited. I can't get excited unless I see you get on your hands and your knees and crawl across the floor.
The article also reveals that Mickey Rourke remained distant from Basinger and even helped Lyne abuse her. This included grabbing her arm, refusing to let go despite Kim's cries and shouts, and even slapping her in the face when she fought back. The sadistic treatment eventually had a negative impact on Kim's marriage, as she remained emotionally distant from her husband for an entire year.
I almost waited too long.
Number 13, Walter Matthau and Barbra Streisand, Hello, Dolly.
If you're thinking of getting married, you might as well learn right now that you have to let women be women.
Hello, Dolly had a very troublesome production, and one of its main issues was the truly bitter relationship between stars Barbra Streisand and Walter Matthau. Walter quickly grew irritated at the much younger Barbara's insistence at shooting multiple takes, and it wasn't long before he couldn't even stand in the same room as the budding star. He also referred to Barbra as an incompetent actress and a freak attraction like a boa constrictor.
Dolly Levi, you are a damned exasperating woman.
Why, Horace Vandergelder, that is the nicest thing you have ever said.
Walter even refused to kiss her, forcing the production crew to work some movie magic for their on-screen kiss. Barbra hated Walter in turn, referring to him as Old Sewer Mouth. Maybe that's why they refused to kiss.
All I wanted to say was, goodbye!
Number 12, Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, Kramer vs. Kramer.
Ted, I'm leaving you.
Yeah, there's no sugarcoating it. Reports say that Dustin Hoffman acted like a straight-up jerk towards Meryl Streep during this film's production. And it all started with a slap. Yep, a literal slap. Streep told the New York Times, quote, "It was my first take in my first movie, and he just slapped me. It was overstepping." That wasn't the only time he allegedly abused her during this time. She also claims that he groped her breast on one occasion, threw a wine glass against a wall near her head, raised his voice, and criticized her.
A lot of things I'd do different if I could. Just like I think there's a lot of things you wish you could change, but we can't.
While she's since forgiven the inappropriate touching, it's clear that Streep has soldiered on from the past, as she's since become one of the most acclaimed actresses of all time.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Number 11, Jason Lee and Shannon Doherty, Mallrats.
Did you knock it off?
God.
What?
It's no secret that Shannon Doherty is not the easiest actress to work with. She's garnered quite the reputation over the years and is often regarded as one of the biggest divas in television history. Unfortunately for her Mallrats love interest, who was played by Jason Lee, she seemed to be just as problematic while working in the movies.
Are you kidding me? I've never met a person who lives in as much fear of his mother as you do.
Jason Lee apparently found Shannon very rude and difficult to work with, and he claims that she was heavily spoiled throughout the production. His comments are reminiscent of those of Jason Priestley and Alyssa Milano, both of whom have openly acknowledged Shannon's belligerent personality and work ethic.
Brody, what kills me about you is your inability to function on the same plane of existence as the rest of us. Piss off.
Number 10. Pierce Brosnan and Teri Hatcher. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tell me, James, do you still sleep with a gun under your pillow?
In the franchise's 18th installment, Pierce Brosnan as Bond tries to stop a media mogul from starting World War III. Behind the scenes, the media reported that Brosnan was constantly furious with co-star Teri Hatcher, as she kept coming late to work in the morning. As it turns out, Hatcher was pregnant at the time of filming and was experiencing morning sickness. Brosnan later admitted to having said some things he shouldn't have, and has since apologized to Hatcher, as he was not aware of her situation.
Do you know I used to look in the papers every day for your obituary?
Well, I'm sorry I keep disappointing you.
He also told the press that everything had been blown out of proportion, and that supposed feuding wasn't as big as everyone had made it out to be. Regardless, it had still been a big deal at the time.
Did I get too close for comfort?
Number 9. Anthony Hopkins and Shirley MacLaine. A Change of Seasons.
Her name is Lindsay Rutledge.
She has a first name like a last name.
This comedy about a married middle-aged couple in which each member begins an affair with younger people stars Anthony Hopkins and Shirley MacLaine as the hitched pair in question. While they may be married in the film, Hopkins despised working with MacLaine in reality, and reportedly called her, quote, the most obnoxious actress he'd ever worked with.
So you're not going to take me?
I didn't say that, did I?
Oh, you don't have to, because it's showing all over your face.
The film itself was not critically well received, as demonstrated by its 3 Razzie Award nominations. However, MacLaine's lively performance at least helped make the duo's relationship seem realistic on screen.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
Well, I did.
Number 8. Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. Dirty Dancing.
I knew it would work out. I knew they'd have to apologize.
I'm out, baby.
This pair did not have the time of their lives on set. See what we did there? This romantic drama features Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze as a student and resort dance instructor who fall in love during her summer vacation. While they may be almost too hot to handle on camera, Swayze found Grey incredibly difficult as a co-lead in real life, calling her too silly and immature to work with.
Most of all, I'm scared of walking out of this room and never feeling the rest of my whole life the way I feel when I'm with you.
The pair also supposedly had trouble working together on the set of Red Dawn 3 years earlier. They must have since mended fences though, as Grey was clearly upset about Swayze's death in 2009.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Number 7. Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. Romeo and Juliet.
I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this.
Romeo and Juliet are literature's most iconic lovers, so it's very iconic that the 2 leads playing them did not get along. In this 1996 modern adaptation of the famous Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet vie for each other, despite their respective families' constant fighting. However, in real life, Danes reported that DiCaprio was a nuisance on set, acting very immature due to his pranks on crew members and general goofball attitude.
Then I defy you, stars!
DiCaprio in turn called Danes stuck-up and too serious. While the characters may be star-crossed lovers, the actors couldn't have been more mismatched.
Romeo. Oh, Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo?
Number 6. Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. 4 Christmases.
Daphne, if I could interject
Save it, Kent. I'm not looking for a BFF.
Daphne, please.
This movie stars Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon as a loving couple who hate and actively avoid their families on Christmas. So maybe it's actually appropriate that the actors reportedly hated each other during filming. Their personalities reportedly clashed on set, with Witherspoon wishing to stick to the script so that she could nail a scene, while Vaughn wanted to ad-lib and work with a more easygoing approach.
By the way, this is exactly what I was afraid would happen if we came here.
Perhaps it's not that surprising, as one is an Oscar-winning actress, and the other is, well, Vince Vaughn.
I really don't want to get into this.
Number 5. Marilyn Monroe and Laurence Olivier. The Prince and the Showgirl.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
This romantic comedy about a showgirl who gets involved in political intrigue caused co-stars Monroe and Olivier to despise each other by the film's end. Olivier also acted as director, and he supposedly became enraged at Monroe due to many factors, including her constant tardiness, her unpredictable acting, and her constant consulting of her acting coach.
The little bird, so anxious to return to her nest.
Well, it is my exit, I guess.
The final nail in the coffin was when Olivier told her to try and be sexy. This would not be the last time Monroe allegedly caused problems, as Tony Curtis apparently became frustrated with her 2 years later, filming Some Like It Hot.
Where did you learn to kiss like that?
I used to sell kisses for the milk bin.
Number 4. William Baldwin and Sharon Stone. Sliver.
You think I'm too young for you, don't you?
This thriller stars William Baldwin and Sharon Stone as lovers in the middle of strange occurrences in a high-rise apartment building. Throughout filming, it was said that Stone would emasculate Baldwin, which he understandably did not appreciate. During one kissing scene, Stone supposedly bit Baldwin's tongue so hard that he couldn't talk for a few days afterwards.
It's like playing God.
Things became so bad that they soon requested that they shoot their scenes separately, as they were obviously not getting along. Stone even went on to say that she would have preferred filming with Baldwin's older brother Alec in his place.
Are we playing poker now?
We're about to start.
Number 3. Nick Nolte and Julia Roberts. I Love Trouble.
What is that?
What is what?
This romantic comedy stars Nick Nolte and Julia Roberts as rival reporters who fall in love while uncovering an altered milk conspiracy. Roberts has called Nolte, quote, the worst actor she's ever worked with, as well as completely disgusting. Nolte did not take kindly to Roberts' disdain, and shot back that she's not a nice person.
You don't have to say that just to make me feel better.
I'm not saying it to make you feel better. I'm saying it to make me feel better.
Things were so bad that it was reported that they acted more with stand-ins than they did with each other. Their relationship has seemingly not progressed since, as they still appear to hold animosity towards each other in the 21st century.
I suggest we get out of here as fast as we can.
Why?
Women's intuition.
Number 2. Richard Gere and Deborah Winger. An officer and a gentleman.
You know, Zach, it wouldn't kill you to open up to me a little bit.
This romantic drama tells the story of a Navy aviation officer candidate, played by Richard Gere, who comes into conflict with his drill instructor. During filming of the famous love story, Gere and Deborah Winger definitely were not what you would call good friends, with Winger referring to Gere as a brick wall when trying to converse or interact with him.
You know, man, you ain't nothing special. You got no manners, you treat women like whores, and if you ask me, you ain't got no chance of being no officer.
His stoic personality further aggravated Winger, and the two spent no time together off camera, with reports that they distanced themselves as far away from each other as possible in order to give each other space.
I know who you are and what you want.
And what do you want?
I want to have a good time until you have to leave.
Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. The Notebook.
Say I'm a bird.
No.
This romantic drama about two lovers who are kept from each other because of their social standings is regarded as one of the seminal love stories of our generation, so it's disappointing to hear that the star-crossed lovers didn't actually get along on set. Director Nick Cassavetes reported that Gosling tried to have McAdams replaced due to his strong negative feelings for her. This led to a therapy session that saw the co-stars having it out with each other through screaming and yelling.
Why didn't you write me? Why?
Perhaps this very intense dislike for each other is what helped make the on-screen couple's passion translate so well to the big screen. Whatever the case may be, it seemed they got over their differences, albeit temporarily, as the two actors actually went on to date for a bit after the movie had been completed.
Don't touch me! I hate you! I hate you!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.